Welcome back to Blender Aerobics because we're building muscle memory today, We're before we get into stuff like this, working with our 3D scans and 3D printing them. And before we get into stuff like this, modeling a completely organic palm tree from scratch, we got to learn the mechanics here. We got to just Blender has a lot of applications. It can be useful for 2D, for architecture, for 3D sculpting, for painting, 2D animation. But all right, so you can bring all your CAD, Revit, and SketchUp files into Blender and use Blender kind of like as an intermediary. And you can do maybe more custom work than you're accustomed to in, AutoCAD. But you'll find the familiarity if you like working with numbers, if you don't, if you, but you can also have access to the organic stuff too, like sculpting. So, all right, let's just get started with the basics. Everybody starts out with this same cube. So, part of the culture to delete the cube. So now if we want to bring that, so you're gonna click, drag, highlight, and then press delete. You'll find that the delete key doesn't always work like that, the more specific you get, but for right now we're using the delete. So if you have this screen where it's just blank, I'll put something in there. I would say we start with Shift A, pretty important to hit that Shift A. And we should note that we're in object mode, so you look at the top left, there's a drop-down menu, and that's going to be set to object mode. So now when we add an object, we hit Shift A, we circle over mesh. We can select any of these shapes, plane, cube, circle. So we could start with the sphere, but let's start with a cube, because a cube actually, if you hit something like, we're going to bring back the cube, yes. But if you want it to magically turn into a sphere, you can hit Control+2. And now you've subdivided the geometry, and now you have this cube. And if you check over here, we're going to be jumping around for a sec, so just bear with me. If you click this wrench, this is the modifier tool. That's pretty important because it's going to allow you to do all the creative stuff and deforming and whatnot. So you want to go?
Oh wait, no.
You don't have the wrench over here?
Is there one?
I have 5, but you should still have a tab on the right. That's called modifiers. That's in everything. If you don't, you could also just start with a sphere for the sake of the example by going to Shift A, Mesh, and then select icosphere. You have 2 types of spheres. Shift A, Mesh, and then you can either select a sphere or a cube. For the sake of this example, if you started with the cube and you turned it into a sphere like we had before, then when you go to your subdivision tab, your modifiers tab, you will see that you have one subdivision modifier that's been applied to the shape. Yes, it's on Catmull Clark. So then on the top right of that sub menu, there should be a drop down, and then you click that and you hit apply. So now you've applied the modifier, now it's baked in, now that's what you're working with. Okay, wait. Hey, your little wrench.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Okay, well, why?
Scroll on the view. And then, okay, let's go over how to move around. Stop. We should have. Moving around, if you're using a mouse, if you hold down the scroll wheel, that will allow you to kind of do this locked-in rotation move. And if you zoom in and out on the scroll wheel, that's the same as zooming. And if you hold Shift while you hold down the mouse wheel, you can kind of click and grab your way around like that. Panning, yes. We're going to be panning, we're going to be dollying if you want to get cinematic with me. If you don't have certain tools, there's the emergency movement stuff up here at the top right, like this hand. If you click and hold down the hand, you'll be moving around. And similarly, if you click and hold down on this axis at the top, now you can move along Z or X or Y. If you want to get it more in the center of your screen, then you could click this hand, click and drag, or you hold down Shift and mouse wheel, and that will do the same thing.
I'm in the individual sphere. It's floating above it, like it's that red and.
Oh, okay. So there's a couple ways to do this, but probably the fastest way is if you click over here, the object panel, the object tab is this kind of orange square in that mini menu. If you go to where it says transform, make sure that it's set to 0 on all the X, Y, and Z for location. So once you have all that set up, and we all have a sphere that's set to 0, now you can learn about how to move around with the G tool. So if you click G, that stands for grab. So you can click and grab and move freely. Or if you want to be more specific, you can always put the coordinates in here in this. When we're in the object properties panel, you can put specific coordinates, or if you want to move specifically along a specific axis, you could hit G and then either Z, X, or Y. So when I hit G, Z, you have to do this continuously. You can't click anything in between. So let's say I hit G, I can move freely, or I could hit G, Z. Now I'm grabbing on the Z axis. Or I hit GX, now I can move on the X axis, or GY. So that principle is going to apply to everything from rotation to scaling to bending. So yeah, so Blender's pretty intuitive with the naming. Some people complain that, because they get used to CAD or Maya or Cinema 4D, that it's not intuitive, but it kind of starts to make sense. So in that same logic, if E is grab, then S is going to be scale. Hit S, and then, we can do the same thing. Scale on the Z, scale on the X, or scale on the Y. That's how you can kind of start bending and mashing your object. Yeah. Okay, so let's say we're starting with our cube, and by our sphere. By the way, if you want to see what I'm seeing, at the top right, we have our render buttons. So right now I'm on solid shading. If we go to the left one, we're going to get wireframe, which can be helpful. And then the two on the right are for when we start having our shaders and we start coloring in. So you don't really need to worry about those yet. You can do this in either wireframe or solid. But if you hit S and then you hit either Z, X, or Y, that will allow you to do, squishing and stretching in those directions. Yeah.
If you were like, hey, I want to know how big this pyramid,
Yeah.
would that come here?
So we can get the actual size. We can scale things to specific sizes based on meters, centimeters, whatever. And if you want to type in a specific thing, it's going to be, unless you go into your properties and change it, by default it's set to meters. So as you can see, like everything is like 0M, or we could put maybe 2 cm, and then it'll automatically convert it to 0.02 meters. So everything is like that. If you want to let's say you have a cube. So I would generate a cube, bring it over here, and then for scale, everything right now is set to 1 meter. So I could put maybe 0.4 by 0.2, and then that's going to be set to that measurement. But when you're exporting it, you could change it to anything. You could have it be in centimeters or millimeters. But yeah, so to get back to rotation, scale was S, so rotate is going to be R. So you hit R, and now you can play around, spin the ball in any direction. Yeah, you can do the YZX thing on the whole object, or pretty soon we're going to get into how you can do it to just a piece of the object. So we have our object, we know how to scale, we know how to rotate, but now if we hit tab, now we're in edit mode. So that should change a few of your controls. But basically in edit mode here at the top left, you have your 3 options for what you want to manipulate, whether it's vertices, vertex, or edges, or faces. So if I select face, I can now hit G and grab that face, or I could hit G, Z, and grab that one face along that axis. Similarly, I could hit S, and I can scale that face. So that's when you start to get, you're going to start to get into more of a design mentality, when you start shift clicking different faces and then, maybe grabbing that, but you're kind of limited by those options. There's more than just scaling and rotating and, grabbing. You also want to do what's called extruding, which allows you to get these kinds of, that's E, yeah. Everything's going to be phonetic with Blender. So when you grab vertices, it's helpful to grab more than one. So you would want to shift click. So let's say I grab this vertex, I shift click a couple more. It's basically the same as grabbing a face now because I grabbed 4. But if I only want to do 2. So that brings us, now that we know how to extrude, it's kind of helpful because, like manatees, there's another shape that kind of requires us to extrude, which is ironically palm trees. So let's say I was going back into object mode, I delete everything, and I say, I'm going to make a palm tree real quick.
Deleting everything, the quickest way is...
You want to hit tab so that you're back in object mode. And then you want to highlight everything and hit delete. Yeah. Okay, so if you're in drag and highlight, let me get in there. That means that you need to change these settings here. So right now you have it so that you will drag and highlight. But if you click select circle, okay. So you click and drag here at the top left because you were literally tweaking. Because there's tweak, there's select box, and then select circle, and there's also select lasso. A lot of people use select lasso, which will allow you to kind of shave off huge areas or highlight, very quickly. But yeah, let's do select circle. Because when you're on select circle, so you want to be holding shift while you drag. Exactly. So sometimes you want to be specific. And then you can change the radius too. So the radius is at the top left where it says, edit, next to the edit mode. This dog is reminding me of every dog I've ever known. It's okay. It's from the old one.
I'm gonna take a picture. You wanna use my phone? Why is the new sphere ghost?
So basically you have wireframe, you have solid, you have EV, which is just like colors, and then the fourth one is called cycles, and that one works with lights. So we haven't gotten into lights yet. We'll get there. Yeah. So you have extrude, scale, rotate, grab. We have different things that we can do within extrusion. Like let's say I have to put my radius to like 26. Let's say I want to extrude, but I want it to get smaller. I want it to scale down while I'm extruding it. So it's simple. You just hit E to extrude and then immediately hit S. And now you have an extruding scale. So you can invert. Similarly, there's the I button, which stands for inlet, kind of like the inverse of extrusion. So you can go inward, and it doesn't go outside of the perimeter that you kind of established. So your scale, you hit S and then you hit I, right? Oh, okay. So you hit S. Yeah, it's better. You have to hit E first, and then you can hit S or I. And you get different results. If I try to grab that, technically I'm going to be stretching those edges in a way that might not be optimal. So in those cases, it helps to just hit E, and then you get that clean extrusion. All right, so quick example of how we can make something out of that. I'm just going to go back to object mode. I deleted everything. I'm going to select mesh and do a cylinder. Bear with me. I'm going to do cylinder, and then what happens is whenever you load in a mesh, this little secret menu at the bottom left appears, and it only appears for one move before you move on to something else. So again, if I create a cylinder, I have this bottom menu here, that cylinder. So if I click that open, I can now control the radius size, the vertices, the depth. So by default, it's set to 32. I'm going to change it to 8. Shift A is for all your basic primitive.
Okay, and when you said cylinder from mesh, right?
What? The secret menu happens the moment you create an object, it pops up. So if you click anywhere else on the screen, it's going to go away. So upon creating the cylinder, you have that menu. Click it open, and then you can change the vertices amount from 32 to 8, and then you should have something like this basic. Okay. Yeah. No, cylinder. Yeah. So If you deleted everything and you're starting fresh, it should just pop up right in the middle. Yeah. That means it's on 32 instead of 8. So that means on the bottom left over here, you're going to click, as the second that you make the cylinder and bring it in, you're going to click this menu here that says add cylinder.
Is there any way to go back or conjure that? Or do I delete it and bring it in again?
You would have to delete and start one more time. So just delete, mesh.
I right click. Oh.
Okay. You got it?
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Add cylinder. What about 30?
We're going to change 32 to 8. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you were in edit mode and you did something with your previous shape. So maybe if you go to edit mode for you specifically, if you go to edit mode and you select faces mode and select all that geometry, highlight it, and then you hit delete, it should give you this menu, which is a more specific delete menu, and hit faces and all of them should be gone. But if some of them are remaining, that's because okay, I was going to get into this later, but this button right here at the top, it's called toggle X-ray. It looks like this. So let's say I'm in a situation like this where I want to delete all this stuff. If I toggle X-ray, it's going to highlight every face when I highlight it. And now I can just get rid of it and then go back to object mode. And technically it's still going to be there in your layers menu. It's going to be called cylinder or whatever shape it was, but you will have deleted everything from it. So you can just get rid of it from the scene collection on the right. By the way, you can also do that too if you want to just go straight into the scene collection and just delete from there, instead of clicking on the actual object. Oh, you had to restart. Okay. Good thing we haven't made any yet. It goes without saying you're gonna be wanting to save a lot because Blender crashed. There is an automatic save like Photoshop, so I will set that up, yeah. We're not there yet. Alright, you're back?
So I am in some type of mode. Really?
I'm in a mode right now.
Truly mayor. Like I have an orange thing.
Alright, we're all together. So let's just okay.
Empty again.
I'm empty. I'm gonna go Shift A, cylinder, change my vertices to 8, and then I'm ready for the next step.
This weird animation, like toolbar timeline keeps running on the pop-up.
Oh yeah, definitely pause that.
Area?
Or just hit the play button right here if it's playing by accident.
Every time I do something, it kept going.
Alright, we good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So hit tab, and then we're in edit mode. We're gonna select the top face, octagon, and we're gonna. Well, actually, no. Sorry. In object mode, we go back to object mode for a sec. Let's scale this down to a little pancake size or something like kind of short. So you want to hit S and then Z. Scale along the Z, make it tiny, and then back to edit mode. And then from edit mode, we're going to select this face, and we're going to hit E and then S to extrude and scale. Then hit G, D. All right, what's going on? I'm going to go slower. I'm going to go.
Do that. X,
Yeah.
Where the lines?
Because you moved so set all this to 0.
Can I just close it?
Yeah.
No, I don't mean. See, that doesn't work.
Oh, I see.
That's what we were complaining about.
So if that doesn't work, then you have to hit X.
That's what. Yeah.
So X is the real delete.
Yeah.
I think the older blenders using X as delete, and they only just recently made it delete, which is.
And
You used X? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I'm on 5.0.
A object.
Yep.
We like to conjure the object.
We're already behind. I think it's like on 5.1 now. So they're already testing it out.
Okay, we're in. Cylinder. I'd like us to change it to 8.
Yes.
I remember that part. Then there's some extrusion. Now we're doing extrude scale.
Once you have pancakes. Oh, yeah.
Extrude. E. Down.
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways to do this, and it's going to lead to different outcomes, kind of. We could get the same results, but for the sake of this example, I'm going to do it like this, which is I hit E, S, and then it's going to give me this flat. It's not going to look like it's extruding, but it's going to look like it's scaling. So once I've done with that, I hit GZ and I drag it up. And that allowed me to do it like that. Yeah. So we're hitting grab and then along the Z axis. But alternatively, not like there's any right or wrong way to do it, but we could also just hit E and then move it up, move it in, sorry, and then hit E again. Just drag it in. Well, technically you don't have to scale it on the first move. Like, so let's say I hit E and I just want to move and establish a little bit of length. So I get up here, I get the length, then I hit S. I can kind of scale it inward. Then I can hit E, extrude, and then hit S and scale it outward. So that's one way to do it. That's just one way.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So it says here, base button.
Now, okay. So this, you know what? Where we have done is like kind of. I got it. But, dude.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, so I click that, now S, and now I can click around, or what?
Yes. Yeah. Now you're scaling that base.
Okay. So then I can, and
You're scaling that base right now, but you don't have to do it like that. You could technically hit E first. So you hit E, and that's going to allow you to extrude. So now you're doing what I'm doing, but you can extrude and scale. Sorry, you hit ES, and that's actively changing the mesh. If you can see what I'm seeing on my screen, I'm in wireframe mode, and that's kind of giving me more faces. And then when I hit GZ, I'm dragging those faces up. Z is to move vertically up.
Oh yeah.
On the Z axis. No, you can, but for the sake of this example, just so we're, yeah. Everything is like one click, but these are this is like foundational knowledge. It's gonna help you if you want to do something specific. Deselect would be shift click, but shift click is also multi-select. All right.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Wow. Yeah. You hit GV, it's drag that up. Like you flatten it, then you drag it up.
ES.
Right? Doing C, you do G, you do.
Oh my god, I finally
You did it. Yeah. Now we're making pies now.
You see like 4-letter combos?
Yes. Look, I'm about to do an ES, GZ. And then I go ES,
Once we learn the letters,
GZ. And wow, it's going down.
I remember she just like today. She said I'm coming by.
I know what your problem is.
Less than 15.
Inducing.
You want to go down and
Down and move, great. Yes, I love that one. Yeah, because that's how you make cups. That's how you make a cup. So you wanna go down and move, right? So you hit I, and then E. Boom! You see that? We just made a cup. You were going. I is inward. There's extrude and inward. We got to look inward. Well, it can be.
Internal.
Inversion is I in software, but. Oh, you already made a base because yeah.
Oh, yours is really cool. Yours is like a signal. Yeah.
Okay, so the term is actually not inward, it's inset. So we go I for inset, and then E to go and extrude downward. That's how you can create that little pipe effect.
As I do that, it wants to set me.
Right. Yeah. So you're saying that if you were in, let's see if I gotta get out of wireframe mode. Okay. So you would like the camera to move along with your extrusion like that.
Exactly. I started doing extrusion, but
Yeah, no, Blender's set up a little differently. Like if you try to move the camera, what you're gonna end up doing is locking the extrusion down a different path. So what I normally would have done was move around with like the scroll wheel. But if I'm extruding and then I select the scroll wheel, I can kind of click it into place on a very specific axis. So it can either go X, Y, or Z. But yeah, I'm gonna have to click to set that in, and then I'll be able to move again. But yeah, simultaneously, I don't think so. Unless you had programmed a camera, which we will get into maybe another time. But if you had a camera that was animating, you could be in that camera mode while you were editing. So, but yeah, I don't think you'll be able to do it at the same time in just regular edit mode. This is more just for modeling, and I guess you're expected to just zoom out. Or if you want to get specific, when you click on different axes here at the top right, it kind of clicks into place. So I don't know if that would be helpful for that, but it can help with placement in a lot of cases, which is the main issue when you're in a 3D space. Sometimes stuff gets it looks like it's close together in one perspective, but it's not. So
So are you constantly going anywhere?
what I'm constantly doing actually is changing different axis perspectives. So like I'll go from the top down or from the side. Yeah,
What?
it's good.
Fucking architect.
It has value. So what we were originally doing was a palm tree. So if we want to get back to that, I'm okay with that.
No, I know him, Mom.
It's okay. I'm with you. You know, I'm addressing the chat. I don't know what your palm tree is looking like, but if you're looking at mine, you could see that there's some issues here. It's looking a little bulbous. So if I go to Edge and I click Alt click, that's what's called loop select. So I can actually scale that loop. Yeah, loop selection.
You are
Alt
that
click.
middle button.
Yep. And then I can scale that. So I'm scaling around like I'm a crazy guy.
You're not. Okay, those 3 squares next to edit mode, what are those?
The 3 squares next to edit mode. Vertex, edge, and face. So we want to be in edge selection mode because Alt on Mac should be, yeah. Well, no, Shift is its own thing. Control is its own thing. So loop select. I love loop select, and I love creating new loops. Loop select is Alt or Option click, and you gotta be clicking on something that's connected to other stuff.
Got this one in front.
2 minutes.
Loop cut and slide? No.
No loop cutting. Just whatever. Like for the next, just
Grandma here.
everybody just took a little. Just try to build a tree real quick. Like we don't all have to have the same shape. It's just got to be something that we can start to add some branches to. But using GZ and ES, kind of give yourself a nice tree trunk. ES, GS. You can throw I in there if you want. You know, I to E, whatever you want. T, no T. All right, so long story short, you want to just give yourself a little pointy tip for us to throw some branches on. So that's what I'm going with for mine. And then once you have that, we're going to have to go back to object mode and create a new shape. We're going to create a new cube, and you can move the cube so you can just see it. And then I would just scale it down on the Z and scale it out on either the Y or the X. So you have this kind of flat little plank here.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize.
If you PC,
It's that little.
no, it's not giving you the light. Shift A.
It's really weird. A or mash.
Shift A.
But if you're in object mode, it's going to create a separate object. You see what I'm saying? So if I'm in object mode and I go to edit, and let's say I have my cube selected, I hit Shift A, create another cube. That cube, unfortunately now, or, unless it was what I intended, but you see the cube is now married inside of the other cube, which is not what I want. I want it to be separate, so I go back to object mode and I hit Shift A, and now I have separate cube. Get your own space. Yes, because I had the plank selected and because I was selecting it in object mode, anything I added was going to just get, baked into the, yeah.
So I noticed that when I clicked my plane, I didn't edit E.
Yeah.
And I went down. It looks like I'm
No, because you're hitting EZ. So that means you're extruding down.
Okay,
What you want to do is extrude scale, E scale, and then GZ to lift it up or whatever. And then if you want to actually, not that I'm telling you to do this, but if you did want to intentionally make a cup, you would hit I and then E. So you we go inward and then.
So I really need to learn what scale and all these words are.
Yeah, I feel like I could have been going harder and helping you learn the body movements so that you kind of feel it's more aerobic. Like the aerobics are mental. I feel like it could be a thing. I mean, we could try it,
Well,
but
if you're teaching people next time, because I feel like I'm a little like, yeah, like I understand why extrude now. But missing some general large strokes. Like there's no still your
again,
really?
this thing. So E, extrude, scale, kind of make a flat pancake. And then GZ is like lifting it up, you know. But you have to think. You can't think. Okay, I'm clicking G. You have to think. I'm clicking grab. I'm grabbing. I'm extruding. And then you know it kind of starts flow. You get into the flow state. It's gonna take a second. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to do this on the first day or the second day even, but the more you kind of just like load up Blender and kind of just tinker around the first couple, you gotta just like log a couple hours, maybe like 30 minutes even, and then you kind of just
If you, I know you said you can't grab a bunch of things and delete them.
depending on which mode you're in, you can. If you're in object mode, you could select everything and delete it. If you're in edit mode, you have to select everything and then hit X, which is gonna ask you if you want to delete the edges or the faces or the vertices. I usually hit face because
Yeah, delete faces.
yeah. Okay, great.
I think I'm supposed to do a cube for the.
Okay, yes. So if we're gonna continue, let's do the cube off to the side. Make sure that's a separate object because you're in object mode.
I'm just gonna.
Okay, so I'm in object mode. I made a cube. I scale it up, and then I'm going to scale it on the Z to flatten it because we're making a palm tree leaf right now. So scale on the Z and then scale on the Y.
Would you go to a Blender and grab it? This one.
I like, you know, if I know how to do it, I might spend the time and just make it myself because I know what I like. But if I couldn't be bothered to do that, I could easily just find one online. But really, you know, they sell asset packs, but everybody has a different style. Like, you know, even amongst the four of us, I'm sure we all have very different results. So, that being said, it's a good example for this specific type of modeling I'm about to show you, which involves edge loops. So, when I switch to edit mode by hitting tab, if you hit the Control R, you hover over the shape, you should see what I'm seeing. Control R, that's how you create edge loops. So yes, Control R equals edge loop selector creator. So I'm going to zoom in just so you see. Hit Control R, moving the mouse around. So I want to do it on the long vertical axis. So I'm going to hover over that. And I see that yellow line. And then on the scroll wheel, I'll scroll a couple times until I have like 3 cuts. I could even do 4. The more you add, the more flexible this shape is about to become. So just to be specific, I hit Control R, hover, scroll, click. And then I click one more time to set it into place. So let's say, okay, I put the mouse right on top of it and I hit Control R. If I move around, if you move to one of the corners of the shape, that's where the loop cut is going to get set in. So to make it vertical, I go to this bottom edge right here. And okay, let me see. Yeah, no, it's same thing. Same thing. I just had mine highlighted.
You're gonna grab the things. She supposed to give us like the slab or like 3 garments.
Actually, it's a scroll bit.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, we'll do a quick pause. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you click to lock it in. So I'm filming it.
Here.
Double click. All right. So you have it locked in. You have your. All right. So now we're gonna do Control R again, but this time the other way. Create 4 more loops. Okay. Now we want it to actually be like a palm tree shape. So I would click face here at the top left, and then shift click all these, and then I'm going to delete those faces, and then I go back to edge mode, and I would put 4x4 for this example. So I hit Alt click, for you would be Option click, and that's going to give you the edge. And then right click to, well, actually, you might not have to. Yeah, hit F, and now this is a new trick, by the way. When you hit F, that's gonna fill it in. Is for fill. So yeah, I just created one face. I deleted all the individual faces, and then I created a new face based on that loop that we just clicked. I mean, this is what the inside looks like. It's hollow, yeah. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. You're in wireframe and you're probably in toggle X-ray mode. So if this button here at the top right was selected, that means that you're gonna be clicking things in the front and the back. Yeah, unclick that, and then probably you could be in solid mode if that helps. Okay, so once I'm in, once we could do this one at a time, or you could try both at the same time. But I'm gonna shift click both edges, both sides. I'm going to do SX to scale. Whoa, hold on. SX. Oh, I think I generated two sides. Never mind. If I'm in edge mode and I alt clicked, I can do SX. Yeah. Why am I having this issue? Bear with me once. Oh, okay. I led you guys astray. So what we did was we hit F and that created a new face from edges, but we don't want to do that. We just want to have it fill. So instead of hitting F, I should have told you to hit Alt F or Option F. And yeah, delete it. And then alternatively, what I told you, you need to highlight all those faces and then right click and hit Dissolve Faces. And that's what's going to give you this smooth face. I think I restart this part.
It just doesn't respond, you're saying? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Okay, I've caught back up. So I reset. I made a new cube. I gave it 4x4. I'm gonna go here into face selection mode. Instead of deleting anything, all I'm gonna do is select these edges and hit dissolve faces. So now I should have that face dissolved, and now I can hit SX and kind of bring it inward like this, so that we kind of get our leaf tip shape. Which menu? Sorry. Oh, the dissolve menu. So you should, if you're in edit mode and you're in face selection, you hit all these and you right clicked, dissolve face.
Oh, I would probably recommend the.
See control plus click. Oh, that's weird. So you haven't had right click this whole time? If you just right click anywhere on the screen, it's not giving you. There's an alternative.
Something.
To right click is using the application menu button Alt and A+. That's cool. Forgot to tell you, if you hit Shift C, it resets your view. That will bring you back to center point. Well, that's because it brings you to the cursor. So if you're in edit mode and you select that second one, if you put it over here, oh, it resets the cursor. So, if you get stuck all the way out in like the abyss, you hit D, reset. I'm not sure. Right click. I'm seeing that there's F3. That's cool. If you hit F2, you can rename your object. So I'll put palm tree.
Blender.
Illustrator.
Wait, are you scripts or absolutely. You can go okay though. Yes.
Right. We won't. Yeah. But not exactly. You would have to basically do this in a different order to get the same results. So I'll do it with you real quick. If I just make a cube and flatten it like before, extend it, then I can go to edit and control R, and I could just do the shortcuts first. Don't do the long, yeah. And then just select that, SX, and then boom. Probably should have told you to do it like that from the beginning, because now that shape, once I have that shape, I can do the vertical cuts.
This must be so fun when you're memorized. You're like,
Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of knew what's but
it's like when you're at the end.
when you're in the flow state, Blender's super fun. Yeah. All right, so if you're lucky and you're looking at something that looks like this right now, then we can move on to hitting a new trick, which is V for cut. So if I hit V, I'm coming right now. Just gonna step mine up real quick.
Thinker. Yeah, not the
Tinkering around.
That's pretty.
I click my edges here on that piece. And when I go to delete them, it
Yeah. Oh. So it's already yeah.
like,
So yeah, because you had edges selected. That was
Okay, here. You didn't get the shaping thing.
all right. Cool. So now you're in a perfect position to hit SX and then. Oh no, sorry. You're on a different axis, so hit SY.
That's why.
Yeah. There you go. Just kind of try to create like a T tip.
Yeah.
Go inward, inward. Yeah, like I get it to change.
Thank you.
Yeah, like that. Like that.
Okay.
That on the other side. B is for me.
Those letters you told me. Oh, wait, to make shift. On the other side, we go and we shift them. Shift. We hold on shift. Sorry. We hold on shift.
Because
Click these things and make them one or whatever.
yeah, so if you actually hit X,
Okay, don't do that.
I'll do it. Base.
Okay, one. Now S
you make the leap.
Y
Right. Yeah. See this is why.
S D.
Oh, see, it's created. Okay, so can you actually just GY really?
Grab
GX.
G
Yeah. And now SY.
scale Y.
Pick the leaves. You're gonna go to one of the edges
Yeah.
on the and then
How do you know that little like to grab an edge?
Show it set.
I'm sorry. You should probably switch to up, 3000.
Grab an edge.
Make sure you're in edge selection. Grab one of those short edges. You're on a base right now.
Short
Okay,
edge.
cool. Now hit B. Yeah. Click the edge. So yeah.
You. Oh, now it's fun again.
Yes.
And then I want to click
Tree. There we go.
B.
So when you hit B, you just want to kind of do an because you're selecting multiple edges.
Edges. What other tree? Oh, but what is that? What's the letter to make the things go up or Y? Oh, V nice.
Yeah, with just one, that's what's gonna allow you to sharp get it. So,
Can't wait for the day that I like. You know what I mean?
not easy, but one day.
No, like when I can play piano. Where I can get.
All right, so I'm right there with you. Yes, look, check it out. I select this edge. That's the only one I have. I hit V and I kind of just move it just a little bit. Oh no, I've been hitting V because are you on edge mode or you're in vertice mode? Non-manifold. Because that does happen and when I'm in face mode. Like if I was in face mode, it would say cannot rip faces. But in edge mode, you should be able to rip. No, don't say that. This is part of the vibes. It's your first time using Blender, you know.
Just think so that you know
It's kind of hard to do. I'm not sure if they-
I don't think it's looking. It's okay. Oh, it's got edges that like here. This one already got stuff. Here, these two are. You know, sometimes it's.
Are your panels not moving together? Is that what it is?
It's just not every single connection is gonna allow you.
Yeah, one of them it tried to separate the planes for me.
It's separating the planes. That's exactly what it's doing.
No, like it didn't grab the edge border, the short side. Like I got it in theory. When I went to grab this one, it's like there's like a cardboard thing I made shitty.
Are you
Yeah.
able to hit V
You know
on
what?
any of them?
You could
Majority of my my shape, I
go to do it like you're gonna hit V, but hit G instead.
The G could work too if you want to just
That's what I realized.
skip to getting a result. V is gonna work if you want to give it like a little cut, but really we're just trying to make the leaf shape.
So my hints that I'm successful.
Okay.
The horizontal.
So one trick you could do to get a bit of motion from the other planes is this is a little. I was planning on showing this one a little later, but let's say you click a face. If you switch to face mode and then you hit Shift W, that's going to give you this kind of bendy, warpy tool, which you can use to manipulate a little bit. And while we're on the topic, I might as well just show you the bevel tool because beveling is pretty in these days. If you hit Control B is for beveling. So you can bevel along a face or you can bevel along a edge. I think beveling along an edge is more pro And you could even get creative, and let's say you click Alt click to click a loop, and then you click Control B, you bevel that whole loop. And then when you bevel something, automatically a bevel menu pops up, which is going to give you more control over how many segments you want in there, or the width of the bevel, or there's even more custom stuff. Like people use beveling to create like staircases. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that here. Let's see. All right, well, for the sake of the example, let's just take whatever leaf we've got at this point, and we're gonna use our grab, and we're just gonna set it up on the tree. So the easiest way to do that is to hit the Z, so that you're looking from top down. Yeah, you want to be in object mode, and then you're going to just do your GX, GY, try to get it so that it's nice and right on top of the trunk. I'm going to scale mine a little bit. We're learning, we're making neural connections here. It's not easy.
Mine are spent.
We're almost done, don't worry.
Mine are like.
We're just gonna get this tree with a couple leaves and some coconuts, and I think we'll be we'll be nutty. So let me know when you've got a leaf on the tree.
It's not on from the single.
Okay, actually,
Oh, you can G and drag it around. Oh, I was like going all slow.
so I'm gonna teach you how to own the leaf, so that when you edit one instance of that leaf, it'll edit all four of them at the same time. So there's two ways to copy and paste an object. You can hit Shift D, and that creates a clone.
Shift B.
Shift D is in David, but for the sake of this example, we're going to do Alt D because we're different, and in the transform tab is over here, this orange object properties tab. I'm going to set my Y, I'm going to set my Z to 180. I see everything. What do you want to, I've been there, I'm sorry. We're going to reduce confusion in this class. So I clicked here on this orange box right here. That's
word for that area.
So I'm gonna refer to that as the toolbar.
No, it's this whole here. So.
Well, I'm assuming that I'm like on my YouTube streamer mentality, and I realized you guys.
Even here it's hard. Like
it's not easy. I got it.
Like if you announce like the area, like back to the toolbar.
I'm gonna say it back to the toolbar. Yeah.
So like midway.
Okay. So we're gonna go to. All right. We're going to the toolbar. Midway through the toolbar, we're hitting this orange object properties button. To access the transform. I took a little shot of mezcal. That was a mistake. Well, yeah, that was like 2 hours ago. If you've already hit Alt D and you have your two leaves. Okay. Nice. Nice. Alt D to do an Option D. Option D for all Mac users. Sorry, this is like 50% Mac, 50 Windows. The second palm has hit the tower. So
never forget how I got.
Never forget. I had a. All right.
There you go.
So if we got our two leaves, we're so close, by the way. If you got your two leaves and you're looking from the top down, which means you clicked the Z at the top right on the axis. Yeah, they're connected.
Yeah.
Yes, so you did a cloned instance. And if you wanted them to be individual, you would have just hit Shift D instead of Alt D. So for the sake of this example, we did Alt D. So if you do an edit on the leaf, it's going to edit all the clones that come.
Rotate, is that the pre-transform thing?
Yeah.
Oh, rotate. G. Boom, ready?
Yeah. So I'm literally just gonna go top down. I'm gonna select both the leaves, Alt D again, and then I'm going to immediately hit R to rotate. And then I just do a quick turn like that. And then I might just do it one more time, Alt D, R, and now we should have 6 leaves. And now there's a lot of different ways to go about this. If we want to model it, I would start to kind of bend it a little bit like this with ideally Shift W. How am I moving all of them at the same time? You're going to be able to do that too because if you clicked Alt D, they're all connected now. They're all cloned instances of each other. So I'm in edit mode, yeah, tab mode. And then I'm going to go quickly to X-ray mode. I'm going to select this area. Maybe I'll select half of the object like that. And then if I hit Shift W, that's when you start to get blenderized. But I'm not liking the way that's looking because my cursor is not in the right place. So I got to move. If I move the cursor over here, how do you move the cursor in edit mode? If you click the cursor button, which is the second one on the left, top left, click cursor and adjust it so that it's at the bottom of where you want to have the bend. So I have my bend right around this area for the leaf. Now when I hit Shift W, oh wow, nice. So it took us 2 hours to get to this part right here. Yeah, that's actually sweet.
Mine doesn't look like that, but I love that.
You're gonna get there.
I promise.
That's looking pretty sweet. I gotta say, I would like to see some coconuts though. So
Water only wants to make the base off.
wait, so
Oh, it's good. So you're not blind anymore. Yeah. So anything it's gonna change. Now that you're in edit, I'll just go over it one more time.
what we want to do, our goal here is to get like an organic looking bend on the leaf. So let's say you have your leaf, you're in edge mode, you click and drag. You got to make sure that you're on select box mode. Click and drag, select that. It also helps if you're on toggle X-ray mode, so make sure that you're selecting it on both sides. And then toggle X-ray mode is right here at the top right next to all the render options. Yeah,
We're gonna make you a better teacher.
I can't. Yeah, I'm gonna be on Rate My Professor later.
Like, I don't know what the fuck he thinks here is, but
This guy says way too many filler words. So once you did all that, select the cursor button right here at the top left, and then select the bottom of where you would like the curve of your leaf to be. So for me, that's going to be like right kind of in the middle of my bottommost frame face. And then I just hit Shift W and move the mouse, and I'm starting to get these kind of bendy, morphy, and you can bend it inward too. Like you kind of have a lot of flexibility with Shift W. And if I go back to object mode and I'm thinking these leaves are a little too big, no, I got to do it in edit mode. Sorry.
And is there like one general filter you can put on to soften things? You have to like add a bunch more faces.
Oh yes, you that's okay, I'm gonna show you right now.
That's a good question.
That's a good one. So let's say you want to soften things, you don't like that poly look. You can do what's called a subdivision. So for example, you can also just shade smooth. So you can click any of your objects and right click them in object mode and hit shade smooth. And that's going to get rid of all those lines. But that doesn't actually change the geometry. If you want to add a lot more geometry, it's going to start hurting your computer. So I wouldn't recommend it just yet. But if you did want to do that, you could either go to the toolbar and click the wrench and then click the plus, go to generate, and then click subdivision surface, which is a lot to do. Or you could just simply click something and then hit Control 2. And Control 2 is going to automatically apply the division to your object, which is what we did in the beginning. So, well, sir, should we add some coconuts and call it a day?
Now I'm just watching as a movie.
Yeah.
My brain is like, full.
All right.
Yeah, do crazy stuff. Tell us what you're doing while you do it.
Okay, I got you. So let's
I'm like,
do it. All right. So whatever. We learned how to make a palm tree.